The evolution of religion requires adaptability, adapting methods of practice and vehicles of expression for greater religious experience, in order for religion to survive and to have a place in the world. This meets the greater needs of people and serves humanity at large by fortifying the ideas of peace, cooperation, understanding and tolerance. Without this presence and without this constant emphasis, humanity would lead itself towards destruction very rapidly. Selfish pursuits, quest for power and domination, the competition for resources and the isolation of different tribes and groups would lead to an increasing state of destruction and chaos. To temper this and to give humanity greater promise and the possibility of new life and renewal, the Creator is bringing the essence of spirituality into the world constantly and is reinforcing both the old traditions and the new expressions of spirituality that hold promise for humanity, for the present and for the future. Therefore, the emphasis here is on renewing religion, giving it new life and impetus. Religious experience transcends all theological boundaries and then returns to life to give new structure and meaning to religion and new opportunities for religious experience to be shared and translated to others. It is as if the world were a garden that is constantly being watered. It is constantly drying out, and it is constantly being watered. Even those who have developed within the context of the world's religions must break new ground. They too must come back to what is essential. And they too must fortify those practices and traditions that enable them to translate their experience to others. However, this must be done with a clear understanding of the difference between the means and the essence of religion itself. A greater community theology is necessary now because you need to experience and to practice a translatable spirituality, not a spirituality that is bound to one culture or another, that is bound to one philosophy or another, or that is bound to one temperament or another, but something that can be translated to people everywhere. It must be something that is very essential, very useful and very relevant to the evolution and development of your world at this time and as it will be in the coming centuries. Remember, you are preparing for the future, not only for yourself but for others in your race. Like all creatures in nature, you give so that others may have the opportunity to live. This is a truth that is rarely understood and rarely experienced in the human family at this time. People seem to live for themselves alone, or only for those whom they regard around them, but in essence they live for future generations because they pave the way for the future. And the legacy that they leave for future generations will be the substance of what they gave and what they did not give, what they established and what they did not establish. Religion, then, is a growing and evolving understanding and experience. And its methodologies and instruction must grow and adapt as well. Spirituality must be relevant within the context of life in which it is experienced and expressed. With this understanding, you can see more clearly how religion has evolved within the world. The religion of a tribe whose radius of experience is perhaps only a few miles will have a different religious emphasis and a different theology from the religion that has to be practiced and understood within the context of an entire world. The differences here are great. Consider the difference between religion within a tribal context, where religious imagery and practices are relevant to the immediate environment, and the emphasis of a world religion, whose practices and application must be adapted to many very different environments and to many different people who do not regularly interact with each other or who may have no access to each other at all. A world religion must account for events within the whole world, and it must be adaptable to change that exists within the whole world, change that is much more rapid, difficult and tumultuous than the kind of change that a tribal society is likely to experience if it is living in isolation. When you consider the differences here, then you can begin to appreciate the difference between a world religion and a religion of the greater community. However, there are some very important things that distinguish this example from the one that we have just given. Most essential is the understanding that humanity is but one more evolving race in the greater community. It is not the centerpiece of God's creation. It is not a privileged race or a race that is more blessed than others. Humanity has certain advantages and certain liabilities. It has certain strengths and certain weaknesses and flaws. However, it is not greater, more important, more significant or more emphasized than other developing races in the greater community. The move away from an anthropocentric viewpoint to a universal understanding is so great that it will change your values, your thinking and your emphasis in life. The difference between an isolated tribal society and a world society is primarily one of magnitude. In both, the emphasis is still on human experience, human expression and human aspirations. However, when you are living in a greater community context that extends far beyond human awareness, then your understanding of spirituality enters a much greater panorama. Here the idea of God becomes very different. Here the understanding of how God functions in the world and how God influences, blesses and enables individuals within the human family and within other families as well becomes far greater and more genuine to the true nature and comprehensiveness of life. To be able to prepare for the greater community and to learn greater community spirituality within a relatively short period of time represent a tremendous advancement for humanity. This is a great challenge. It is as if your evolution were being fast-forwarded. You do not have centuries to develop this understanding because the evolution of the world is moving quickly now, and you are behind in your preparation. It took until recent years for the greater community way of knowledge to be introduced because there has not been a sufficient global understanding. There has not been a sufficient realization of the need for truth. There has not been the impetus for change and development. And until recently, there has not been the ability to adapt. Humanity has only recently emerged from its tribal societies. In fact, tribal societies are still very common in the world. You have just stepped into a modern age. Think of the difference of your life now and of life only 100 years ago, a very small segment of time. You will see that you have freshly arrived on new shores. This has changed your attitude, your understanding, your emphasis, your goals and your aspirations. This has given you greater opportunities for education, self-expression and creativity. But it has also given you greater problems and difficulties to solve and an ever-increasing interaction with other people of different temperaments, cultures, races, languages and so forth. In the world at this time, cultures are melting into each other, even as they resist and fight each other. No matter how much they attempt to separate themselves from their neighbors in the future, they will be forced together and fused together by a growing sense of interdependence and a growing need for cooperation in order to meet the problems that are shared by everyone. Introduce into this situation the growing presence of the greater community, and you will see that humanity is rapidly approaching a great threshold. The impact of this threshold will be primarily experienced at the level of human understanding and in the breakdown of old traditions and ideas. This will happen rapidly from one generation to the next. Every decade, new ideas will be proposed, and new ideas will be accepted. What seems outrageous today, 20 years from now will seem like common knowledge. If the idea of the greater community seems revolutionary or difficult to comprehend, 20 years from now it will be on everyone's mind. That is how fast things are progressing. And that is why your ability to respond to the present, to respond to knowledge within yourself, and to face life directly with a greater ability and a greater understanding are so essential in order for you to lead a fulfilling life and to contribute something meaningful for the future. The evolution of life represents an expanding context for life. For example, the isolated tribal culture may remain static in its development for a very long time, but once it encounters other societies and grows beyond its initial boundaries, it will have to change and to adapt. This will change its emphasis, its culture and its religious expression to a very great degree. Its boundaries and its scope have expanded. This expansion is the essence of evolution. It is not only expanding consciousness and awareness, it is an expanding involvement with others. Here greater influences are introduced, greater conflicts are generated and greater solutions are required. If you read human history, you will see how evident this is and how human societies which were once isolated have encountered each other, have grown into each other, have impacted each other, have conflicted with each other and have had to find a common ground of experience and tolerance with each other.